just said some words I didn't read. I'm going to wait a few minutes to really start talking about the subject. This is unscripted, as most of my lives lately. And for anybody listening on the replay, I intend on doing much better scripted lives here. Give me about 2 weeks. I will be able to dedicate a lot more time, like almost full time, to creating YouTube content. So, right now, I appreciate everybody hanging in there with me while we just like have these chatty lives and do random topics. People often come in here and ask, "What is your channel about?" And I would like to be able to give a better answer. I think that, hi, Jesus, how are you doing tonight? I would like to build a community of like-minded people that it's not about doomsday, like thinking like the end is near, but like clearly, I feel like we are at the end of a cycle. Like I keep saying, even if it's 500 years, and not like me. See, that's why I don't like it. It's not about me and my thoughts. It's really about building a community of like-minded people. I'm a centrist. It is hard to find people who are not like so black and white, who are not left versus right. And that's the kind of, also. Hey, Mr. Carey, how are you doing tonight? Do you mind posting your GoFundMe link? Mr. Carey's family has a GoFundMe now, and we've talked about them before. Anybody that can help, or if you could share it, if you can't help, like right now, I have no shame. I really don't, guys. We have like, I don't know, $16 in the bank account, or else I would totally help Mr. Carey, but hopefully soon we'll be able to, and we're still catching up. For my surgery, there's so many reasons why somebody might fall behind or somebody might need help nowadays. And so I wanted to talk about homeschooling because we have homeschooled for quite a while. And it it's interesting because it seems it is more gaining in popularity as a choice for more families, especially since the year 2020 for obvious reasons. But now with the hard economic times, I'm sure there's so many families out there that would opt for it if they could, but they can't. And it's really unfortunate and it makes me sad. There's no, thank you, Mr. Carey. There's no easy answers to how to homeschool on one income nowadays. Like I used to be able to do it, but that was like 10 solid years ago, especially. It was so much easier. And if you're near a big city, like Louisville has so many great homeschool options, programs, groups. And if you feel like you can't afford to homeschool, you'd be surprised. You can get so many nice activities paid for completely or very cheaply, like way cheaper than they would be if you paid for them out of pocket, just going, like all sorts of activities, gyms, plays, things like that. But not everybody lives within an hour of a city. I get that. We don't live within an hour of Louisville either, but it's still important, like, to know if you do live near something, what resources might be available. And Facebook is great. I'm not a huge fan of Facebook, but it is very valuable when it comes to finding the homeschool groups. You love being from Kentucky, Scott said. How are you doing tonight, Scott? I love being from Kentucky too. And I talk a lot about the good sides, and I've tried to be fair about, like, of course, there's going to be pros and cons to any state, anywhere you would choose to live. But yeah, like, I am from Kentucky. I was born in Louisville. I feel like I look like fuzzy or something. Like, my screen is always kind of I use the air duster to blow my charging port out at work, like the air guns, and I feel like I blew some dust like up to my into my under my screen protector. So I'm doing pretty good. We had a good weekend. We had a really good family weekend, so that was nice. And after spending a lot of time with family, I was just thinking a lot about school. I know it's like back to school time for a lot of us. No, McCool. That's the first time anybody's asked me that. I am 25% Colombian. That's where I get this from. Oh my gosh, I have a problem. I swear I don't spit this much in real life. It's like something about my salivary glands when I'm online. You guys probably don't even see it. Oh, it's good morning there where you are, Harris. Where are you? You don't have to say where, but good morning. You grew up in Linden. How about you? Is Linden the suburb of Louisville? Is that is that correct, Scott? Is am I thinking right? Like right? Isn't it like northeast Louisville? You're my favorite. Oh, have you farted? Wow, how original. Um, James, that's so funny you said that because earlier, just a few minutes ago, before you came in here, I was like, people often ask what my channel is about, and I know I need to be more succinct, and I'd like to have a better answer to that. Right now, we're cultivating a community. I'm a centrist. I like to talk about all sorts of subject matter and like see it from both sides. And even if you don't agree with me, I would just appreciate, a good healthy debate, some good discourse so we can learn from each other, even if you're not like changing somebody's perspective. You never know who's on the outside looking in who might be helped by having a certain conversation. We talk about all sorts of stuff. I'm really interested in homesteading, how people can overcome these hard times right now. I was thinking, you have a good night too, Ibrahim. I'm not selling anything. I was thinking about, sorry, I'm saying too much. There are I have so many goals. I bring up trying to get a donated RV or single wide trailer, not for me and my family, but to help another family in need. We have finished out a shed almost completely. My husband did. Made a shed into a livable home, by putting insulation and drywall and flooring in and a wood stove. And well, he had help installing the wood stove. And that's something that, like, of course, that would be something I would take very, very seriously. If there was involving a wood stove and anybody other than my family, I would get like a serious person that could really do that right, right. Especially you didn't miss anything, HK. I've just been sitting here talking about nothing. But yeah, um, it's completely okay not to donate unless, sorry, I'm still here. Mr. Carey. When I click on it, it takes me to the link. So I have it on my page. I completely understand. Like I said earlier, I can't donate myself. It's completely okay not to donate, but you can't hurt. It doesn't hurt to ask people who might be able to help by sharing too. We've got a big platform. Um, I don't know who you are, Running Man, but you're gonna just go. So this was about homeschool originally. And that's what I wanted to say. Like there are resources available, even if you are on one income, even if you feel like it's out of your reach because of income, there is Facebook, so many great groups. I would highly encourage anybody to look into it. And nowadays, even more rurally, there's a lot more groups going on. Since the year 2020, a lot more people chose it. And personally, we've had great outcomes with our kids. I'm not saying that like they're perfectly, I think they are very well adjusted, actually. Nobody's perfect though, but I would say for like 15 and 18-year-olds that have been through everything that 15 and 18-year-olds have been through. And I say this a lot when it comes to homeschooling. This is something that happened a lot. Like I mean it, like it happened several times, more than a handful of times. We would be checking out at a store somewhere, like buying tickets at a museum or something, just anywhere in a line or something. And somebody would say, like, whose birthday is it? Like, they're so happy. Like, what's going on? What's a special day? And it's like, and maybe they thought that too because they were older kids that were out of school, like I get that. But it was also them acknowledging like these kids were like truly happy and thriving and happy to socialize in different settings with different people. And to this day, I feel like they're a little bit more well-adjusted in a way that I wasn't until I got a waitressing job and like was forced to talk to people of all ages in order to make money. And I'm not saying everybody has to homeschool. It's just like when we were growing up, I'm 38 years old, it was so stereotyped is, the weird people, the weird religious people. And let's be real, it was true at that to a certain extent at a certain time. It was mostly the weird religious people. But even so, I would venture to say a lot of them, okay, maybe not the really religious people. Okay, I don't know exactly what their curriculum is like, but a lot of homeschooled kids get a great education and have more socialization if they're not raised by neglectful parents that are just keeping them at home and trying to shelter them from the world because they think like the rest of the world is evil. I know a lot of religious people have big communities and they're not sheltering their kids like that at all. I have 3 kids, and for those struggling with finances, learn velocity banking to manage your finances. Jesus, uh, what's velocity banking? Is that an app, and why do you recommend it? I'm watching an Argentinian movie right now, but I can't speak Spanish. That's funny, Hugo. I've heard from family members, because I have a family member that lives in Argentina, that Argentine Spanish is the prettiest Spanish. Like, I don't know how true that is because I don't speak Spanish either. Yes, I'm married for 15 years. And I don't. So thank you, Mr. Carey. Everybody that used to dog homeschool, if you look, or if you still do, if you look at the statistics, like the best measures we have, right? Like you can share your anecdotal experiences with the what, one, two weirdo homeschooling kids in your neighborhood growing up in the 90s or whatever. But if you look at the statistics, homeschool kids fare better in every way. And I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad, okay? My two older kids go to public school right now. They wanted to go to public school. The goal was always to encourage them to do whatever they wanted and empower them to make the choices that they wanted and to feel good about going to school, whether that was middle school, high school, college. And I know that's not the same for every home educating family, but if your kid needs some more one on one, if you're struggling with how the school is supporting them or not, if you feel within your heart they could do better at home, then it's absolutely worth a try. And we're very blessed in this country to have that option. And in every state, the rules vary. I've lived in states like Indiana, it's a no notification state. You don't even have to write a letter into the school system. You don't technically have to do anything. And here in Kentucky, you have to notify the school system. You have to notify your county that you live in, send in a letter. It has to have certain pieces of information in it every single year, as well as keep a log, like an attendance log, a log of the activities that what you read. And in Florida, when we lived there, you had to keep the logs as well as write into the county, as well as have a teacher look at your portfolio once a year. And there'd be all sorts of teachers that you'd pay. It was very cheap. I don't know, 20 or 40 bucks a kid to look at a handful of assignments, and they would say whether or not they feel like your kid is progressing well enough. So I'm glad people are talking to Mr. Carey in the comment section. I have a post on my page. I can pin anything else, but I guess I can't pin a link. I don't know. Hey Yoder, I'm so glad you're here. Sorry to hear that. For a while. I thought it was just me getting blocked from channels. Now I know it's actually corporate blocking comments. Can a kid fail homeschool, really? Well, Adam, that's a good question. I mean, they would be failing at life. If you fail your kid at home educating them, then you're definitely gonna see the results of that, right? But unless they go to get a GED or something like that and keep failing that, there's no real way to tell. And like I said, with the progress reports, I don't know what would happen if a teacher was like, hey, your kid isn't progressing the way that they should. I would assume they would get the school involved at that point and try to make the parents send the kid to school. I'm from Kentucky too. My son is nonverbal. He's an ABA now, but really thinking about homeschooling him as well. Aaron, I'm glad to hear that that it's a consideration, and I feel for you. We have a nonverbal son as well, and we have gone the past 2 years to think about enrolling him in school. Like we live off one and a half incomes in the meantime, like it would be nice if we could both work full time. We can't until he's in school, and it's just not enough support. So I don't know what your situation is, but there's so many families in your boat. Jesus, yes, I was telling another mod on that channel, warning them to watch out because chats are going invisible. That's crazy. HK said Stephanie is horse schooling her kids. Let's not make too many jokes about that, okay? Like I know I laugh at stuff. You have to laugh at it to a certain point. But like, it's like, at the same time, I don't want to make jokes about with involving kids really. You know what I mean? If any of you don't know what that joke is about, it's really about a guy that commits bestiality in Liberty, Kentucky. I have a bug bite on my thigh. It's just so good. I'm so tired of getting bug bites. And I think I need to stop letting my indoor outdoor cat get in my bed with me. It's so gross. It's like, just thought I would pop in and say hello. Hey, Homer dude, how are you doing tonight? I'm glad you stopped by. I'm sorry. I know it was a family day. I know it was like I was trying so hard to get on here at 9:30, and then all of a sudden it's 10 o'clock. I'm sorry about that. That's why I've decided to tone down my comments, Jesus said. Yeah, I found like any word, even abuse, like I spell AB space USE, like any kind of negativity, like put spaces in between it. Jesus, I was chatting away and refreshed it. It was like, where did it go? I don't know what you're talking about, Heke. Anna, I was going to say you were my first. Mr. Carey, I was the first remember that took the oh, yeah. I saw that on your GoFundMe, Melvin. I saw that. That's really sweet. I would love to donate if we had more than $16. It's not funny, you just have to laugh at it, you know what I mean? And that's what's like, there's so many people out there just wanna try to play the keeping up with the Joneses, and, like sorry, I just got a text, and, um, there needs to be more people that are like, "Yeah, I work full time, and it's not right that after the bills and the food, and, like, we can't afford the kind of back to school that I would like to for my kid." Like, we um, asking for families' help with that. I'm sure lots of people are in that boat. Oh, thanks, HK. I'm doing okay. Hope you had a wonderful day with the family. Yes, Homer, it was great. We were in Louisville. I love Louisville so much. In more the suburbs of Louisville. I just can't stand the traffic. The traffic, and I needed to do some grocery shopping, and I thought I should take advantage of being near stores like Myers and Aldi's that I don't have near me, and then I couldn't. I couldn't handle it. I was like, there's too many people. Velocity banking allows you to use your dollars more than once and puts every dollar to work for you. Have you been hacked, Jesus? This sounds a little bit too much like an ad, I'll be honest. I know I asked. I'll send the jerky recipe and you can sell that, Yoder said. Our bed situation is bad, Mr. Carey said. Well, gosh, I really hope that something comes through soon. I really hate hearing that. I'm glad economy is getting better. How is the economy getting better, James? Um, so talking about homeschooling, anybody, like, from any background, I've met every kind of background you could think of, every kind of income, situation. The head of the Louisville field trip, homeschooling field trip group was a school teacher. She taught school full time, and her husband homeschooled their kids. I guess, she knew the reality of schools, and, like, there's just so much going on with our school system, and, like, the stories I've heard from my kids, it's like most of the people I interact with are nice and kind. I don't understand who's producing these children because, they're somebody's raising them to be this disrespectful. And I really do feel for the teachers. I have like nothing but respect for the good school teachers. I think they deserve to be paid like 10 times more. I'm not kidding. Like seriously 10 times more than they do. And that's part of the problem. Like with everything and anything. And somebody said something really interesting. It's like in 10 years there's going to be no more public school. The public school is going to be you go to the library and get your Chromebook, and then, you go home and do the public classes on that, and like that's all you get. And I thought that was really interesting because, in my opinion, it does seem to be, like, I say this a lot, on a downward trajectory, like so many things, like things aren't getting better. And when they bring up the literacy rates, in my opinion, I think that might have a lot to do with the fact that there's a whole school systems where half of the children attending can't speak English. And I'm not making fun of that. I don't think it's fair for any of the children involved, and the children whose parents brought them here, like not trying to assimilate at all, like not caring if they were going to have a hard time in school. Like, they're the issue. It's not the kids that can't speak English that are the issue. I can't stress that enough. But the town we came from in Indiana, they're seriously talking about splitting the schools in half because that's how many kids can't speak English. They were advertising for the FFA, Future Farmers of America, in Spanish. No English advertisements. It was just Spanish, Future Farmers of America. Like, this is like, uh, any other group of people coming to a community, the way that, like, it's not about race, it's about like changing, taking away resources, especially from communities. Yepers, Mister can okay, what's going on? Some of the Mennonite stores take EBT and mine are stricter than yours down there, so they should. Oh yeah, a lot of places accept EBT. A lot of places that you might not think. That's good. Okay. So what else do I have to say about homeschooling? We had good outcomes, but of course, like my kids chose to go to public school, but I also see that as a success, right? And they walked in, they're making good grades, they do extracurriculars and sports, and I'm happy that they get to have this experience with more of their peers than they'll ever be around in their life. Like that's what I told them to like juice them up or whatever. But at the same time, I can commiserate with any parent that wants to home educate their child with everything going on, with the way that so many people can be in like the school pews, like we're all aware of in our country that. have gotten so much worse over my lifetime. Excuse me. Excuse me. I'm like sitting here drinking milk. That's probably why I'm like that. So I also wanted to like Anna, is it okay if I make the point that you made that I was like, why didn't I think that about the dog, the emaciated dog? I I should have asked you that through an email. But Anna made a really good point about something that I was talking about yesterday. And I was like, oh my gosh, why didn't I think about that? Because it was a good point. And then last night, thank you, Anna, for answering me. You said yes. Aaron comes in here and says, like, Titus kicked my dog. And after I process that, because once again, I'm slow, I can admit, like, I'm slow. I'm smart in certain ways, but my brain works slow, especially as of late. And I woke up and I thought about it. And like, this is why Aaron shouldn't be encouraging people to go there. Like, he's abusing your dog right in front of you. And like, was that before or after you said, go there, ask his neighbors questions? And I'm sure Aaron has asked his neighbors if they would be on camera because, like, why wouldn't he try to get that, and I'm not doubting that he has neighbors that don't like him, I don't doubt that at all. But I'm sure they also don't like somebody, like, interviewing them. Like, people that live like that, like us, people that live that far in the country, like, they like being remote, they like being isolated, they like not having people coming to their door asking questions. That's kind of the point, one of the points. And so I just thought, like, why would he just, like, come in here like, he is so odd to me, and I just think maybe I don't know. I don't know if I should just tell you guys to block him or what, but you're slow too, Mr. Carey. We can all be slow together. But like, in the way he's making fun of my content, like, it's like, you can do I know he's, like, just trying to josh my taters or whatever. He's, like, things it's just I don't it's not productive. A lot of his stuff is not productive. I was watching his shorts, and it's like, I can't make sense of some of this stuff. Once again, can you make the point? Because I'm slow, and I need you to make the point for me sometimes. Some of the times, like, that one shorts he had where Stephanie was talking about how she believes, like, in soulmates, which this is why I don't believe in soulmates, because of this shit that she was saying that if you even if you're married, you might like meet somebody, get along with them, get married, but then you meet somebody else that's like, oh, it's your soulmate. Um, no, no, I don't believe in that. I think that the people who believe in soulmates so they can run around and do shit like that. Like I seriously do. It's looking out in the back of their mind. It's like, well, if I ever feel something stronger for somebody else, then I can just like say they were the one actually. They were the soulmate of mine. No, I don't believe that because so your God makes soulmates, but then he also threw you in this situation so your kids could be no, I don't believe that at all. So the point that Anna said that I was like, "Oh my gosh, good point." She's like, Aaron could have helped that emaciated dog. Like, Aaron could have taken the dog to the cheap vet in Liberty. Aaron could have helped it. Why did I not even think that? Because it's so true. And I know, like, not a lot of people would just pick up some stray dog, but it's like you're gonna be so involved and share this on the internet. Like, personally, I think I would try to take a dog and help it if I was gonna publicize it and show you guys. That's just me. I'm not trying to sound like a saint, but like I've seen injured dogs and like I can't stop thinking about it. If I had more money and resources, I would definitely help dogs out of my own pocket, like no question asked. And there's such a disturbing attitude about animals in the country. Not all country people, but a lot of country people. And I get it. There's a difference between livestock and pets. I get that, but that doesn't mean that you have to ever be inhumane to the livestock, you know? And there's plenty of people that treat their animals well, but there's like more people with this attitude of how they're disposable out in the country. And yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with being raised on a farm, seeing a lot of birth and life, birth and death. But that was a great soulmate is a cop out if it gets stale to someone who didn't care to start with. Tate Rogers, exactly. That's exactly my point too. Every relationship is temporary, Carl Goldberg said, besides your children. Um, well, I thought I was going to agree with you, but until I read besides your children, because I understand like everything's temporary, period, right? Like we're all temporary, technically. I believe our souls, our energy is eternal, but I think like our personality, like I don't believe like this life is eternal, but um, I kind of get what you're saying. Ticker is the sarcasm of Aaron's point is Stephanie rescues animals off the side of the road. See how well it's doing? She rescues them. She says she rescues them. Because I just thought they like show up, which it's like, it's fine. Like that does happen out in the country. I'm glad we don't live on a road where people do that. But anytime we've ever had a weird dog on our property, it ends up being a neighbor's. Um, on a show. It's a prison planet for souls, Spike said. Yeah, yeah, that's what I was talking about, like, it's you have to laugh at the fact that you work full time to have $16 in your bank account Sunday night, it's just, like, 60% of us, and I'm proud of any of you that are doing better, that have a savings, like, you're doing better than most people in our country, one of the most prosperous countries ever to exist, like, you should be proud of yourself, like, and that's great, and I say things like about the real estate investor guy, I don't want anybody who has sincerely like worked hard. I know there are people that have worked hard developing properties and deserve the money that they get, but it's just for one of those people that have lived during such successful, prosperous times to turn around and tell us to just buy house after house. I've seen so many people say that just buy an investment property when you can barely afford the dwelling that you reside in. Best mother-son dance for wedding, getting married in October. Oh, Joey, that's such a good question. Mother-son dance. Well, the first thing I think of is that I don't want to sing it. That I hope you dance, Leanne Womack, but that might be a little cheesy. That might be more for like, oh, I don't know. Mother-son. You got me stumped there. Anybody that has, oh yes, congratulations, Mr. Carey said. That's true. Congratulations, Joey. Anybody have any good recommendations for mother-son dance songs? Poor puppy needs some steak. Aaron shares his steak with Archie. Anyway, I don't hate Aaron. He just focuses on one thing and not sees all other faults. Yeah, I don't hate him either, but he just gets on my nerves and it's just really unproductive. Like, I just don't know. Um, I don't know. I'd like to see proof of the FBI thing and like somebody said like exactly how the FBI got involved, if they got involved, but maybe he can't share that. Like, could I have this dance song? I think I know what song that is. Mother Son. It's like that is a tough one. So I know this wasn't like that great of a live. I always want to touch base with you guys on my nights off, and I do have to work a half shift tomorrow, so I might not get on here tomorrow. I might not feel like it. Bette Midler, The Rose. That is a good one, Carl, Mr. Carey said. Any other suggestions for mother-son dance at a wedding? The songs. It's interesting because like I could think of so many songs for like father and son, or even like mother and daughter, father and daughter. I feel like, when I'm thinking of all these things, like, but a lot of things I'm thinking of are like half depressing too, like father and son, is it Cat Stevens? Oh my gosh, I am in such a weird mood. But Hotel California is, oh my gosh, that is one of the most overplayed songs ever. They must make so many royalties off playing that song on the radio. Yoder's thinking. So hold on. So HK Googled it. That should be helpful. Have you guys noticed how AI is often very wrong or just like not helpful at all? Like, I wouldn't trust AI. Just the results I get from Googling when the AI is forced upon me, it's not accurate a lot with things that I know to be true. Or it'll make me, I'll be like, I don't think that's true. I looked that question up and it's like, yeah, that's not true. So, how much fake information, like everybody's worried about misinformation being spread by people, how much misinformation is going to be spread by the AI? Okay, I'm waiting for some more. Hi, Danny. How are you doing tonight? We were talking about homeschooling for a minute and pretty much said my piece on that. I think that it's going to be harder and harder for anybody to attain that isn't upper class well off, but it is possible. And we do need to think outside the box. Like when it comes to co-ops, it's something that like it does happen. You have to find a great group of people to really trust your child's education and share that with. But if you have to work, like there's still possibility. I've not been a part of this, but I've known people that allowed other people to homeschool their kids. And I know that's like most of us do not have that luxury of having somebody in our life that would take that on full time and be able to manage that. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't see anything about any songs when I scroll up, if that's what you're talking about. You said you didn't scroll up, but there's no I Thought You Should Know by Morgan Wallen. I don't know what song that is, but I hope you're still in here and you're taking down these, Joey. It's nice that we could help. But yeah, I knew I was probably going to be kind of like low energy tonight. There is a lot of the Kentucky I've been listening for 2 weeks straight now about like these cases, particularly in Litchfield, Kentucky, where the sheriff shot the judge. And it's coming out more and more. There's been a few, I don't know if you'd call them I guess they'd be whistleblowers, women that have came out, show their faces, identities, like they were really putting themselves out there to talk about sex being exchanged for favors over there in Litchfield. And once again, I think it's like the organ donation thing. It's like this isn't just happening in small town Kentucky. It is happening everywhere. I think corruption, unfortunately, like it is more likely in a small town when it comes to authorities, the law. Like there's always going to be bad apples, and it happens easier. The whole town becomes corrupt. We lived in the town in Indiana we lived in, I think like 20, 25 years ago, they had to fire almost their whole police department because they were all corrupt. It's like in a bigger police department, there's going to be more good apples, right? Like there's just more people there's like, but in like, of course, there's corruption there too. But there's just so many people. There's too many people to like keep an eye on everybody in the town to really try to like harass somebody as much as easily as it could be in a smaller community. You can get on somebody's bad side and it's just bad. And that's what I wanted to avoid, like going to certain communities in Kentucky. It's like, oh, well, people must think that like all of Kentucky is like this when they don't know anything about Kentucky, and really it's more like half and half. Or I hope it's less than that. I hope it's more good than bad, but there's definitely those communities where like there's a lot of people that don't look kindly on outsiders. I'd be interested in if there's any sundown towns. I think that's more of a southern thing. I don't think there's any of those in Kentucky, but like I've had people tell me they don't believe there's a lot of racists. I've had people tell me they've experienced racism here. Shoot, not shot. My autocorrect is wearing thin. Um, I saw a video about that sheriff. There's people in the courtroom, and that sheriff asked him to leave, and he get off the judge. Right. Hi, Javier. How are you doing tonight? And these women are coming out and saying, like this one woman, she said she's been arrested dozens and dozens of times, and this judge was involved in every charge, and every single time they had a, kind of an adult interaction. And she's like, my whole life was in his hands, whether or not I had custody of my children. And it's so serious. And I think it's the kind of thing, like, once again, when it comes to like, not to any woman that's doing anything anybody would look down upon, like the sex work, like there's it's so disturbing. There's true crime cases where women, like there's this one, I can't think of her name. I could find it. She was a sugar babe, as they call it. And it was obvious in most people's opinion, she was murdered by this guy found in the road. This woman was brutalized, but because of what she did at that time, people don't care, or half of the people don't care. People just like right out, they're like, whatever. So, and when it comes to people that are imprisoned and incarcerated, people don't have a heart most of the time. They're like, whatever, you deserve to be there. You did something to be there. Oh my gosh, if you're the kind of woman that would exchange sexual favors, whatever, who cares? Like, whatever. And they said it wasn't just that judge. It was like other people there, of course, of course. It wasn't just that one judge. And it is very pervasive in that community. And it's so sad. And it's once again, you know what I'm gonna say here, right? Why is that? Why do we look down on women so much to the point that when they're like true victims of coercive situations and like, with especially in male-bodied individuals that are often bigger and stronger most often than them, like why is that? It's because of internalized misogyny, because people, including women, hate on women and just look down on them and think of them as less than. And that's if you didn't do that, if you're not one of the people that do that, because not everybody does, then you do have some empathy when you hear these stories. Like, yeah, these people, they were in bad situations. They already needed, nobody becomes a criminal drug addict without going through some horrible stuff, And like they need to heal from so much. And now we're just adding on to just compounding the trauma with more trauma. It's a horrible feeling. is a woman. No matter how drugged out you are, whatever, you're gonna have to contend with it at some time. I'm sure some of them are just like too far gone, and that's sad. But like most of the time, it's a horrible, horrible feeling. It's not a good feeling, and it affects you for a long, long time. Participating in situations like that, even when you think it's okay, even when you think it's just for a few minutes of your life or whatever, it's soul crushing. So these men that take advantage of women in that situation, it's hatred, not necessarily racism, Carl said. I agree with you, Carl, and I actually said that too. I think a lot of times the people are just plain ignorant and dumb, and they don't even think as far as like, because I get it, because like, look at my hair, like I get like, like, and I'm like so white, but they'll still treat me like I'm not from around here, and it's like it's just ignorance, and yeah, it's really painfully dumb. I don't think they've thought to the point of like, so do you expect the same families to stay in this county forever? Because when that happens, what happens when that happens? People turn blue because that's happened in Kentucky before. The blue people that I talked about before too, like they have this genetic predisposition because of the inbreeding, because they live near the mountains with no railroad nearby, and that's what happens when nobody new comes to town ever. You get blue people, genetic diseases. You get inbreeding. Water runner, no. I do vape like the legal stuff, but I don't do that anymore. Oh, Mr. Carey's so nice posting Anna's family or Anna's channel, Yoder Family Farm Life. You're close to 1,000 subscribers, right, Anna? People, if you're interested, Anna really is a hoot. She posts a lot of interesting content when it comes to homesteading, food processing. But like she did one live, I don't think it's up, but I'm encouraging her to do more lives because I think you should do a live, Anna, that's like Mennonite tells all. It's just bad parenting, in my opinion. No more switches out back when you talk back. Right, Yoder. Okay, so she's at 880 subs. Let's try to get her up to 1,000 soon, guys. If you feel so compelled to. Um, I like to encourage people to go to small channels. I pay for YouTube Premium when I'm working, but like I like small channels that I know won't have ads or won't have as many ads. Or like when somebody gets so big, I don't even listen to them on YouTube Premium anymore because they're still constantly advertising. They're just like, it's like an advertisement every 15, 20 minutes. It's like, I don't want to hear about these products you're trying to sell. Like, I get it. You're making a lot of money. Good for you. Um, I only had you two, needed more questions. Right, I know. It is like it's scary. Like when I got on here last night, I was like, I don't really have much to talk about, but we ended up staying on here for over an hour and a half. And like, but I know it helps when there's more of it, people coming in. But yeah, it's scary. I'm scared. I agree. They often lose the personal aspect. Right, water runner. And that's what I would like it if I stayed rather small. I think like being around like 15,000 subscribers is like cozy where you have enough that I think you can make good views and because it's more about the views than anything, right? When it comes to the money, the RPM rate, and then but you still are like cozy enough to know people and have a community and not be like lost in the sauce. I also gotta respect my Amish family because they are Amish. Right, Yoder, I understand that. Anything else? Yeah, Aaron could have helped the emaciated dog, and I understand, like, I'm not in the boat to help it, just any old stray dog on the side of the road, but it's just such a good point that I myself didn't make that I wanted to make. And, how to be fluent in English. Well, what you're doing right now is what helped me the most with Spanish. The people speak Spanish so fast, it's hard to learn, but like immerse yourself in, I don't know, music, maybe if you like listening to English music, watch English shows. Oh, Jay Hardy, thank you. That's really nice of you to say because I felt like I was being extra boring tonight. Carrie would be like a one-armed carpenter if you had 15,000 subs. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and if I had that many subs, I would definitely be helping Mr. Carey out. But yeah, everything happens for a reason. I feel like me getting monetized when I did, it was kind of out of nowhere. I really wasn't expecting it. And there's certain changes going on in our lives. So it's all happening in due time. And You never know. Like, you just never know when what will happen. And that's the secret to manifestation is so many of us are in survival mode and we get caught up in thinking about the bad things, dwelling on the bad things. It's easy to do. Thinking about the things you have to do, the bills you have to pay, how you're going to pay the bills you have to pay. If you're going to overdraft, what's the bank account? What's the bank account? Does something come out overnight and overdraft us? I know we're not the only ones. I know we're not. Oh, you need gas, I need gas too. Okay, how are we gonna do this? You get this card, I have this card. It's just like it's crazy. And it's not fair. But I think that things are gonna turn out for the best. And manifestation is about having that attitude. Jay Hardy, thank you so much. You were so sweet. Thank you for the $10. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. It's about being grateful for the $10 super chat before you even get it. Being like, "Thank you, God." And that's what I was doing with my YouTube channel. I was like, "Thank you, God. I know, and when I get a monetized YouTube," this is what I kept saying, like, "I will help." Like, and I have 10% in my mind, not because of tithing. It's just something. I don't know. Maybe it is tithing. I didn't even know that was a thing when I was making my weighted blankets, but I always gave like 10% back. I always feel like strongly if you are lucky enough to do something like make money off of YouTube, like make money selling handmade products, that you should try to give some back. And that if everybody had that attitude, oh my gosh, and if the big corporations had that attitude, oh my gosh, there'd be nobody wanting for anything. And I really appreciate you, Jay Hardy. You're not funny beyond category. I don't like what point are you trying to prove? You think you're like gonna make me emotional or something. We've all heard the way you laugh, okay? You're never gonna pull one over me. We've heard the way you cackle, okay? Um, it's not funny, and honestly, I think we should just go ahead and block him because I've told him, like, "This isn't funny. The number one cause of pregnant women being unalived in our country is the man that got them pregnant." Like, this is I bring that up because, like, if that doesn't jar you into reality enough, I don't know what will. And, you've got a son, you should everybody would benefit from learning about this, especially if you make fun of it. Oh my gosh, you're the people that could benefit from it the most because you're the people that have probably, I don't know, been divorced once or twice because you can't seem to grasp or understand that women are treated the way that they are, walk through life from the age of 11 being harassed and build a thick skin sometimes and become traumatized, see PTSD from it sometimes, and react to the world that they are in. And you're like, just like constantly trying to like deny that women don't have a harder life. I'm sure you're one of those men that thinks like literally like it's easier for women because we can go to a bar and find a guy to put their penis in us tonight. Like that, so that therefore our lives are easier. It's so crazy to me. I've seen so much. You want to see talk about Kentucky corruption? When I pulled up to my friend's house when she had a black eye and a busted lip and her porch was fucked up because her fucked up man drove his car into their fucking porch and beat her ass and the cops were walking away as we pulled up. And are they going to get him? Or like they're going to get him, right? And they're not going to do anything. They're not going to press charges. Like no, the Kentucky cops like that's a good thing about Kentucky though, right? It's good when you're doing something bad, when you're the bad guy doing something bad. It's good how they turn the other cheek. I've seen women go through so much in my lifetime that I'm gonna keep speaking about what I believe the root problem is, the root of the problem, because we can just sit around and cry all the time, all day long, all night long, every day. But the root of the problem is the hatred of women. And a lot of it comes from people thinking that literally everything bad that ever happens is because Eve told Adam to eat an apple. And, you know, it's unfortunate we're in this country and it is so Christian based. And once again, I'm not completely against the Bible. I'm not completely against the teachings of Jesus Christ at all. But it's part of the root of why people look at women the way that they do, like we're less than. And I do have a lot to say about working in a male dominated field once I leave. And I'm not going to talk, I probably am. But like, I'll just say this. Women are more than capable. We are more than able and just as competent as men. If anything, I believe we're more. And when you have littler fingers and you can do more fine motor skills, that really helps, you know? It's like it's funny to me. I'm looked down upon because I can't like lift as much weight as like the men that I work with, but at the same time, I can do everything better and faster than them because I have like little nimble fingers. And the same is true with female surgeons have better outcomes. Female surgeons have better outcomes. We have better fine motor skills. We're better at aiming, shooting, sharpshooters. Anything but brute force, we're better than better pilots. Everybody wants to make these jokes about females and being, we have better eyesight, better hand-eye coordination. These are like facts. And it's such a fact and it's such in your face. It has to have always been that way that like that's why we were oppressed the way that we were. And instead of being like, wow, like you're pretty cool people. Not only can you do what you do as far as like giving life being the closest thing we have to God and walking around on this planet, but you can sustain that life, but you can also go and do all these amazing things and like create things and make money in so many different ways. And like you can do both. And because you most of us don't have a lot of kids. If you have like five, six, seven, eight kids, I understand not ever having a career. I think that's awesome. I really do. I'm not being sarcastic. But a lot of women don't have that many kids. When you have one, two, three kids, what are you supposed to just stay at home the rest of your life when they're done growing up? Like that's crazy. Sorry, just been in a college class on history and whatnot, and then the Book of Enoch. Oh, I would like to learn more about the Book of Enoch. I've just heard people talk about it a few times. I know, yeah, I know about Lilith, Anna. Oh, but yeah, it's not funny. It's the same. Like Aaron is the epitome of misogyny, and he's probably sitting somewhere right now going, if you guys don't know his laugh, I'm sorry for bothering you. He has the bizarro laugh, okay? It is. It's weird. And he's like probably sitting there cackling at me, like in his car at his campsite or something, at somebody else's house on somebody else's couch or whatever, because he's been divorced twice. Because like that's how you have to cope with the reality of your situation. Thumbs me down all you want. I don't care. No, it's the men that project everything. Like how we don't take accountability for anything, but we do. We raise kids most of the time. We are most of the single parents. We are getting most of the high earning college degrees. We are buying most of the houses when it comes to single people who buy houses. It's because women absolutely take accountability and we just like do what needs to be done. Why are so many men out of the workforce? Why are there so many able bodied men out of the workforce right now and not women? Why is there a male loneliness epidemic and no female loneliness epidemic? Because that's the same amount of people not on both sides not getting married. You know what I mean? The birth rate's falling. Like women are also single a lot. But anyways, oh Samo, Samo, hey, how are you? And that's not all. That's like the men that say that women are projecting. Yeah, I'm projecting the fact that the number one cause of a woman being unalived when she's pregnant is the man that got her pregnant. How is that projecting? That's just a fact. And that's like I say that a lot because I think it encapsulates everything. It says everything. That's when we should be taken care of the most. That's when you should be cherishing us the most. When your life is inside of us or the life we made together and like you're like that's how my husband was with me when I was pregnant with our three sons. He wasn't anything but like extra. And like that's that's because of the way, if women weren't objectified the way that they were in, we wouldn't have so much talk of us not being able to vote. Like serious discussions by serious people. I know that's never going to happen. None of these people have the power to rescind the right for us to be able to vote. But it's I am a comedian. That's nice, Mr. Carey. You're way more funny than me. I said to husband today, he's got his clips of Half Bodyguard for the President. He was a chauffeur. Me says Diddy. What? Hold on. I don't quite grasp what you're saying. That's a very good point. Women handle business. And think about this. Not even my mother holds herself accountable. Well, I'm sorry, Samma. I believe when a man says, I've had nothing but bad experiences with women, I'm going to believe him. So I'm sorry if that's the case. I believe you. There's billions of people. There's going to be people out there that were raised by abusive, horrible women that had bad experiences with girlfriends and women dating. And I'm truly sorry for that. I'm not making fun of that. I really am. I don't think that's the majority of the time, though. think about the best people you know. The best people you know. Like, how many of them are women and how many of them are men? Because when I think about the best people I've known throughout my whole life, the only man that pops up is my husband. And of course, if you knew my life story, um, yeah, but of course, there's going to be a lot of people. Um, there's always the people that can't wait to come to the lives saying what is often said on the internet. There are a lot of bitchy women. I've said it too. I think when I meet a new woman, oh no, is she going to be nice or not? I always say, am I going to have to prove myself to her or not? They're bitchy to me too. They're just bitchy to everybody. It's what happens when you grow up being hated by almost half the population more, because women are misogynistic too. When you grow up having to be like told that like you have to be nice and please people at the same time you need to be aggressive and cutthroat, and like it's hard to grow up being a woman in this world. And when they become aggressive, assertive, too masculine for your liking, I'm not saying it's your fault necessarily, but I'm saying if you could try to step back and look at the bigger picture, you might understand why women become that way. And men start trying to push you into bathrooms at gas stations when you're 14 years old. Like the the I've heard so many women, and it's healing, because I was like, I know I'm not the only one, but to hear other women say this, that's why I say it. 11 years old, people start saying, come back when you're 18. When are you turning 18? Come back when you're 18. It's something I heard so much. I got hit on way more from the ages of like 12 to 18 than anything after that. Granted, yeah, I was pregnant at 19 and 22, but still, I almost bounced back. I didn't really bounce back from the first pregnancy, and that's fine. But I'm still saying, like, it's coming to light more now how many people are out there really, like, we need to be aware of this, especially for our children. There's so many bad men out there like that. And when we talk about bad women, what are you talking about? Like women being mean and bitchy? I get it. That's rude. I don't like it either. It's not pleasant or nice. When you talk about men being bad, what are we talking? We're talking about them like unaliving women, beating women up at concerts, at bars for rejecting them, and brutalizing them, committing 91% of violent and sexual crimes. And if any men out there have daughters, like they would benefit from knowing about this too. And that's what I wanted to make more of a point, that the people like Aaron that point fun at misogyny could benefit from it the most. I'm probably talking to like 25 people. Most people don't even need to hear this, if you're even sticking around. But like the people that do need to hear are the ones that are going to bounce and be like, oh no, she's just one of those people. It's just like, no, I'm telling you, after 38 years on this planet, and if you don't see it by people saying that we shouldn't be able to vote, and like the backwards nature of like how some people think it's empowering to be an sex worker and it's real work. I don't think it's real work. But then at the same time, like it's still obvious when a woman does it, it's the most damaging thing she could do to her reputation for the rest of her life, right? Like we can all agree with that. But there still are people like saying it's empowering, and it's not the young people's fault for getting those messages misconstrued. Women don't say that to young boys, and, I know women do prey on young boys, I get it, like, I wanna acknowledge that, like, there are and there's young women. Ah, trust me, I know. Like, but I don't think it happens as much. I don't think men can get together with a group of other men and all have stories about how they started getting hit on by grown people when they were 11 years old on a regular basis, like they couldn't leave the house without it happening. That's wrong. And it stunted me in a way. And it also encouraged me in other bad ways. It made it easier for somebody else to come in and groom me, because when you're constantly getting these messages that like this is what your worth is, this is what makes you worthy. Yeah, I don't blame women for getting to the point where it's like I'm constantly having to deal with this. I might as well make some money off of it, and that doesn't make it right, right? I'm not saying that it's morally right, but you kind of can't blame them at a certain point when they don't have any good guidance telling them they should be treating their bodies like they're precious. Mr. Carey. Yes, I ate a lot today. I'm from Kentucky. Only if is ruining young men and women. It hurts when people say there's nothing wrong with it. That cap, I totally agree with you. No, I totally agree. I think adult media. And I used to laugh when people said that women are indulging too much in like the romance novels, but once again, I was wrong. I guess I was wrong because ever since I was like, that's bullshit. Like women don't know. Women are no. I've heard a lot of women bring it up just in passing. I'm like, okay, so I guess this is a thing. Men is like the loneliness, is more people don't date and get together. They resort to the adult media. Women are resorting to their own kinds of adult media and the social media dopamine rushes they get from posting a picture and getting likes. And it's ruining people. And like Facebook is responsible for so many affairs happening, so many people sparking old flings, and like we were saying earlier, you say Stephanie Aaron, beyond category, had a shorts up where Stephanie Titus's wife, it's like a recording of her talking about how she does believe in soulmates and she, like straight up says, like it's obvious she's talking about her situation, in my opinion, supposedly, allegedly, right? Like you can be married to somebody because you got along with them, married them, but then you meet somebody and you're like, oh, that's my soulmate. And like it's so sad. Like people say, like, is it different when you get married? And like, we got married in our apartment. It is different. It is only a piece of paper, but when you make that commitment before whoever is your witness and God, and you like take his last name, that was a big deal for me. And some people might consider that misogynistic. I'm a little old fashioned like that. I wanted to share the same last name with my husband and my sons because we already had our first two sons at the time. And like, it is different. It's really different, and, where was I going with that? Oh, yeah. That should be the soulmate moment. That should be as a rational human being, ideally one without like a personality disorder, or if you have one, you sorted through your shit and like healed as much as possible before starting a family. Ideally, I know that's not possible for everybody, of course, but like the commitment that bliss, the marital bliss that should override anything and everything. Like I mean it with all my heart. I've got like blinders on out in the world. Like when I was separated from my husband, it was different. When we are together, I've literally never been tempted in 15 years of marriage. I say that. I sincerely mean that. What do you mean I'm married and talking this way? I'm talking about I've never been tempted by another man. Yes. Hi, Matthew. How are you if you're still here? Hi, Chris. How are you if you're still here? Right. When you make an agreement with another person like that, it changes your perspective, Water Runner said. It really is different once you and Yoder's brother got married recently. It's just so sweet. Once you make that commitment with somebody else too, and then you see other people do it, I'm getting goosebumps right now. Like it really is sweet and special. And yeah, marriage is hard. It is not for the weak. It is one of the hardest things you'll ever do. Oh, Stephen, the nerd. That's very sweet of you to say. You need more women like you, younger women especially. Well, I'm hoping that I can help influence some of the younger women. I don't have any daughters, but I feel so strongly in my heart, oh my God, I'm gonna start crying. Like, the way women are so precious. There is nothing more beautiful than a beautiful young woman. And I don't mean to mean like 18-year-old barely legal. I don't mean it like that. I mean like women's beauty is so great and beautiful. And I think women can be beautiful at all ages. But like when women are like so beautiful and like being so corrupted and taken advantage of, and at the same time being beaten down. Like because I know what it's like once I say this a lot too, like people are just like constantly ragging on you, trying to say things about your looks. And I enjoy getting older. I enjoy not having people focus in on me and my looks so much. It's nice to like interact with people and not and be taken more seriously. That's what it feels like. Congrats to your brother, Samo said. I asked you this before. I feel like I'm saying your name wrong. Samo. I'm just gonna say Samo because sometimes I say Samo. Samo Uzumaki. Am I saying your last name right? Uzumaki? Anna, congratulations to your brother, Mr. Carey said. Thank you, thank you. It's that deep commitment, life and death thing. Okay, Samo, I'm glad. Okay, and now I will remember. From now on, I'm not going to ask it again. I'm hoping you're saying that's right with the first one too. Samo Uzumaki. I like when I was a concierge at a timeshare resort, it was so interesting. Like, say, maybe that's one reason why I might be okay at saying a variety of names because there was people, it was Fort Lauderdale, Florida, people from all over the world, particularly Europe and Canada, really, but lots of people from Asia, lots of crazy names. Oh, thank you, Ronald. You're born with a cookie and then you complain about it. Okay, William, a cookie that bleeds every month? Well, not anymore. 'Cause I got a hysterectomy. But really think about it. A cookie that is at higher risk of STDs, STIs, and risks pregnancy with every sexual interaction. I really would love for you guys to really understand that that's what it's like for a woman. It's not just free sex play. You are the one that gets pregnant. Do you understand what being pregnant is like? Being pregnant is very hard. Having a baby grow inside your body to full gestation is very incredibly difficult and changes your body forever. My bladder will never be the same. Like, it's just, it's insane to me. Like, no, it's not. And any woman that treats it like that, she usually finds out the hard way that, like, no, it's not just free playtime just because you have that. And, like, we shouldn't be judged by, like, what's in between our legs. The same thing about racism. You look at somebody, you think something differently because of the color of their skin, anything about them just because of the way that they look, that's racism. You look at a person, you think anything of them just because you see that they're a female human with a vagina, and you think anything different of her, that's misogynistic. It is. I mean, it's undeniable. I'm sorry, you're lying to yourself if you deny the fact that that happens to women a lot more than it happens to men. Yes, there are women and men even. There are women out there that look at a man and automatically hate him because he's a man. But let's be real. How much does that happen in comparison? It happens a lot more with women, and women do it to each other. The same bitchy women you guys think are bitchy to you, they're also bitchy to us women. You need to understand that. Like, a nice woman is a nice woman to everybody. Tyrion. Hello, I'm 24. Um, well, I'm 38 and married, just so you know, but thank you. That's really nice. I have these bright ass ring lights on me. I do have green eyes, but they don't always look like this light, you know. Beautiful mistress. Fashion, beauty, and fitness. Do you have a small channel? Um, Samo is African, South African, right? Samo? HK was asking. But yeah, I think a lot of people. Oh, I'm average American woman height, around 5'2", 5'3" ish, something like that. Yeah, and you said you were 24 anyways. Man, you need to find a girl that's in her 20s. North African, Algerian. Okay, I'm sorry about that, Samo. I'll remember that too from now on. Samo's in here a lot. I appreciate that. Oh my gosh, Jay Hardy, you stop it. Oh, thank you. That's very sweet of you, Jay Hardy. Thank you. Oh, I didn't like the last one. I forgot I have the option to like it as well. Well, I really, really appreciate you, Jay Hardy. I'm curious to see. Hi, Catherine. How are you doing tonight? If I'm gonna get any YouTube payout, I want to make a video about it. I want to be transparent with you guys because I know I'm always wondering when somebody gets monetized. And there was this lady I was following, Doe Dasher, because she was a Door Dasher. I like to follow people that do app work because I do it from time to time. And she was monetized and she was like making video after video about all this money she was making after, like, right after getting monetized, like $8,000 a month. And I don't know if any of you are aware of this story. And then, like, basically, like, now she's making videos about how she's getting evicted, her car's about to get repoed, and it's like, I have no idea what was going on with her. My app won't show me how much money I'm making. It's like not updated yet because it says it takes like a whole cycle. But anyways, I want to be transparent and let people know. Sean says, I'm feeling very down at the moment. Sean, I'm sorry to hear that. We all have those moments. And I like to watch funny animal and cat videos. Like, I don't know what your hobbies are, what your interests are, but whatever makes you happy, try to indulge in that, even if it's something that, like, some people would consider childlike or play. Like, I don't care. I ordered some old toys from eBay one time because I wanted to, and it's not like I sit around and play with toys or anything, but um, just makes me sad to hear when people are sad. And then we've got all these situations, like most of us are behind on bills, can't keep up with bills, and it's just trying to survive and whatever else might be going on in your personal life. I'm 37, I won't date below 25 to 30, even 25, I won't have much in common with her. Chris, well, that's good for you. You're a decent man. Because men that like go just for younger women, like I think it's possible. Like I'm not a fan of age gaps when they're like 18 to 25-ish either. Like when you're in your 30s, when somebody's the youngest person's in their 30s at least, I don't care. I do think it's a little gross and weird sometimes, but like anything's possible, right? But nowadays, with the internet and airplanes and everything, I think most of us can find more age appropriate mates, and we should. And when men go just for the younger woman, they're definitely just seeking women that are easier to make them do what they want. But then again, I'm like, I think about like 20-year-old Lydia. I was hell on wheels. I don't know why. I don't think any man would prefer 20-year-old Lydia over me when it comes to mental things, at least. I think like, okay, so like yeah, I know they're like more naive. They, once you get past 35, 30, there's something about heading into your 40s. Like it really, and I saw it explained it could be a hormonal change that a lot of women just put up with a lot less. And maybe it is hormonal. Maybe we're less fertile and we know it. And we're like, we don't have to put up with your nonsense as much. I'm joking, guys. But no, that really is a thing that like our hormones start changing around 40 and women start to become less agreeable. It's been studied. You seem to have no ego at all. How did you achieve that? Samo said. I would say being an ugly duckling, that's just what popped into mind. I was a very ugly duckling. I have PCOS, it's like a hormone imbalance. And when I was younger, I started to get facial hair at a young age. I remember going to my mom being like, can you help me out with this? And she's like, no, you're fine. You're Hispanic. It's because you're Hispanic, because like all Hispanic girls have mustaches, right? And finally, I don't know what made her get me bleached one day. She's like, okay, like we're gonna start bleaching your mustache. And, I've always had to deal with, insecurities like that, and then I guess going through I wouldn't call it near death experiences, but it's pretty serious health issues. I'm like, this is the only life I've lived. I love myself now, and I love my life, so I have to love everything that came before me that got me on this path, and, is HK going to bed? Okay, good night, HK, I hope you sleep well. And I also think, like, I read Siddhartha as a young teenager. I think that book, that's a story of Buddha. You really try to put yourself in other people's shoes and really realize, like, we're all connected. TWC, how are you doing today? Samo, yes, it's hard. Accept your mistakes and then go forward. And plus, also, like, when I do start to feel something, I can just like check myself. I'm like, why do I feel that way? It's because, when you've worked through whatever makes you you, believe me, I have my moments. And I do get on my husband's nerves, trust me. Sometimes. Oh, wow. I'm sorry you had to deal with that as a young girl. I can say you're very pretty and natural looking, Water Runner said. Thank you very much, Water Runner. Yeah, and I had these big, like, Coke bottle glasses. I have very bad eyesight. Like, my eyes are like negative 6.5. If anybody knows about eyeglass prescription, like, when I get my eyeglasses at the doctor, they're like, whoa. I had worse eyesight than my great grandma or anybody I've ever known. And I'm sure there's people that have eyesight as bad as mine, but it's pretty bad as far as eyesight goes. And my mom wouldn't let me get smart. My mom made me get the big glasses, like, and back then is when they started coming out with the little glasses that are more in style. Um, that were way more in style. I'm talking about like mid 90s, late 90s. Nobody wore big glasses were out of style. That was like early 90s, late 80s. And yeah, I do believe she has some narcissistic traits. That was one of those deals. Such a good mom in a lot of ways. And then as soon as I started to come into my own, she did everything she could to knock me down a peg. And so that was one of them. And then once like one time my dad took me and got me contact lenses, and yeah, like that really helped. I was like made fun of for my glasses, and I had these big front teeth. But yeah. And then just having dark hair, it's really funny to me. The Southern Indiana town we moved from a few years ago, I was like, I mean it. I was one of three girls with dark hair in the whole grade. I mean it. One other girl, I'm not sure what her ethnicity was. She must have been like part Italian or something. She was like olive skin, brown eyes. Another girl was Asian, and me. and everybody else, it was such a German town, so German, okay, so German. And in a matter of a few decades, it's like the opposite, almost. There, it's crazy. So it's nice to see more. And like that's the same town when we first came home from school the first day. My brother said, "Mom, there's nothing but white people here." Like, ugh, like we didn't like that. We weren't used to that, and we wanted to not be around like nothing but white people. That's not the point, right? And then it was becoming more multicultural slowly but surely. But yeah, I've seen what can happen. And, people in Mexico complain about it happening to communities in Mexico too. When a bunch of people from up here decide, oh, this is a nice place to live, and they go and start to like take over all the local everything. Excuse me. There's this case where this retired couple buys a condo. It's in some touristy place in Mexico that's near a mariachi bar. Like they knew this. They had to have known this when they bought this place. And they sue the mariachi bar for playing live mariachi music. So this place that has been playing mariachi music in Mexico for like 2 decades can't do it anymore because some white people don't like mariachi music and decided to move there. Isn't that ridiculous? Anybody could hear that story and be like, oh, wow, I feel sorry for the locals, right? I do. I feel sorry for the business owners. I feel sorry for people that enjoyed their Mexican mariachi music. Jeez Louise. It's not right. And so, like, eh, once again, and it's not, I hate those people. I don't hate those people. I want to say it every time. I might have been one of those people. I might have walked across the border if I was given a chance to have a better life and give my family better opportunities too. Okay. I mean it. It's like that's part of the game. They're trying to like pit us all against each other. But they weren't assimilating. It was very like us versus them. It reminded me of the extreme Muslims in on the college campus I grew up in until I was 8. The only people that didn't get along with people were the extreme Muslims. The only people, there was people from all over the world on that campus. Seriously, all I mean it. Like Australia, Japan, everywhere but Antarctica. I mean it. And like all over Africa, and, we all got along great. It was great. I think that's one reason why I am so not racist. In the first 8 years of my life, I grew up in a place where it was, like, literally families from all over the world. It was great. Oh, no, we're talking about teeth. Freaking Karens, Chris said. Jesus depends on how they became homeless in the first place. What do you think would help homeless people? Jesus said. Okay, well, first off, Samo makes a really good point. There's going to be people that want to be homeless. There's going to be people that want to live that lifestyle, right? And like they're I don't know what to say about that. I really don't, because there's cities like Portland that made it legal to use rugs on the street and everything. And now they rescinded a lot of that because it just creates nothing but more havoc. And I've seen people interviewed that are honest. They're like, "Yeah, I moved here because I knew it'd be easy to use, and they give me money every month, and I go buy my rugs, and I get to use it on the street and not get arrested. Of course, like I'm just want to live this life." I don't think there's an easy answer for that. Instead of like having complete reconstruction of all of society and create more opportunities for everybody, because that is simply a lack of opportunity in opinion. But the people that are like us average folk that can't stay afloat, like Mr. Carey's family that's having trouble staying afloat, like 60% of people in our country right now that are living paycheck to paycheck that have no extra money after the bills and the food, they're probably in the payday loan cycle. Maybe like, maybe they have something at the pawn shop, like um yeah, it's just being more self-sustainable, being smart how you vote with your dollar. I know it's not easy when you're, like I said, you're stuck in these cycles where you're making extra payments, you're paying fees for being late. I think self-sustainability is key. Not everybody has the land to do that on, but the more you can help yourself, and self-sustainability isn't just growing food, but gosh, if you can change your own oil in your car, anything. We've gotten so far away from that. People used to be more do-it-yourselfers, men and women alike. And like we're in this age of convenience. And now things are made, planned obsolescence has brought us to the point where it's like things are convenient until they break down on you because they break down sooner than they ever did before. I'll play mariachi. Oh my God. I would have won at Pac-Man real life, Yoder said. Why move to Mexico if you don't like mariachi music? Waterrunner said, I know, right? Right? Especially why move to a place where it's like obviously like shops and a bar with like entertainment if you don't want music? Diversity is great, Jonathan said. Yes. Hi, J Memes. How are you doing, J Memes? Plus, Mexican music slaps, Chris said. What's up, Carrie? How you doing, pal? J Meme said. Chris, I don't listen to music that physically will slap me. Joking. I will like some Mexican music. Uh, Shakira, her first few albums, like her albums that are still in Spanish, I really like her music. And there's some like mariachi like songs on some of her albums that like, yeah, when Shakira still had dark hair, um, her music was really good. And that's how I helped me learn some Spanish. Oh, I just thought of my Hispanic coworkers I'm gonna miss. We got no property taxes over here, but no purchasing power at the same time. Oh, Samo, right? Yoder likes mariachi. The way you know it's mostly addiction is if I lost my job, I wouldn't buy a tent and live with druggies at the park, not to be mean, just realistic. Chris, no, I see your point. No, totally. And you know, those drug addicted people, they'll be honest, or at least some of the time. And they're like, yeah, this is what I want to do with my life. And how do you help that? You know, how do you help somebody like that? I think ideally we would have some better mental health institutions for people, but like I cringe at the thought of that too, because if you're not aware of what happened when we had more in our country before, people weren't treated right. But I'd like to think now with better medications, better methods of surveillance, like we could even have a system set up where like somebody like me worked from home surveilling something like that, like a third party that's like, okay, we're going to make sure like people are taking care of these people and like they're not neglecting or abusing them. Like, I don't know, there's so much money in healthcare, whatever, but you know, I think it's part of the plan is to, I don't want to say it like throw all the crazies in with the rest of us. I don't mean it like that, but just plan chaos. It's nice to see you too. Pete. Thanks, fashion. I agree. Brunette Shakira music is amazing. Now I want to go listen to some. I like Pesos. I don't know what Pesos Pluma is. I hope I didn't just say something dirty. Oh, thank you. You are very beautiful. Respect from Russia. You know, I saw, I don't remember her name, but it was the cutest video. Some woman doing a tour of a rural home in Russia. And she was just like so sweet and bubbly. And like, she was so funny showing and it was cool. It was a really cool property if you're into gardening, you know, and to see the way that they have like their saunas over there. I think that's so cool that you guys like it's like a normal thing to have a sauna. Like most people have one. This was like an everyday person's home. Yeah, I've never had a homeless guy deny their addiction, Chris said, right? I'll take Enrique Iglesias any day, except for his new crap, Yoder said. Um, oh, Rob. Chris, yeah, they're usually self-aware. Emerging, may all the blessings and prayers from your family and friends be with you and protect you. Always stay safe, stay healthy, and blessed too. Thank you, Emerging Fire 1515. That's very nice. No Pesos Pluma is Mexican music. Okay. Yeah, yeah. I really like tried hard to learn Spanish. I would love to learn Spanish. It'd be good, you know, just for around even around there's a lot more Hispanic people than you would think in rural Kentucky even. I mean, not a lot, but there are. And yeah, I think it would be beneficial to learn Spanish. Yeah, all these people coming in here talking to me like they're my boyfriend. Oh, Miss Patriot, I remember you. How are you? I'm doing well today. Probably going to be on here just a few more minutes. Sacred Beholder says hello from Louisville. That's so cool. I was in Louisville last night. I love Louisville. It's probably a place I'm going to be visiting a lot more too. I'm going to start doing a lot more homeschool activities with my 8-year-old. I do everything myself. I'm 15 and know how to fix cars, plumbing, electrical, drywall, flooring, roofing, siding, everything for a house and for yards. I work everywhere and I've learned a lot. James, that's so amazing. That's great. You can't do any better than what you're doing right now, you know? Like learn, you sound like the kind of person you're going to be 25 years old still learning new skills and trades and my husband like he has done things just by learning from YouTube and it's amazing. Like good for you. I'm just well, I was out with my family earlier today. I had a family member take us out, and then we drove from Louisville, which is a few hours. And then I spent time with my husband and my dog. So it's been a very nice, relaxing Sunday. I do have to work overtime tomorrow, which I like because I haven't had an overtime shift since I've been back from surgery. Sacred Beholder. Oh, that would be nice if the first time I see somebody that's like uh little Kentucky homestead, I'm probably gonna piss my pants, honestly. But I think it'd be really cool. Why are Kentucky cops ailing innocent people? What are you talking about, Joseph? I did hear about this really horrible case that happened in Lebanon, Kentucky. Oh, it made me so sad. And you know what I'm talking about, Mr. Carey? Four people committed a home invasion and unalived this 48-year-old woman. And there was like they're trying to get her to get something out of her safe. Like once again, it was probably rugs. It's so sad. Oh no, I am not a surgeon. I got surgery myself. I had a precancerous condition and I had to have a surgery. I work in a factory. Mm, but yeah, I'd like to hear. I mean, I'm sure it has happened before, Joseph, but if you're talking about a recent case, can you say like where it happened? Hi, Jay Hardy. Oh yeah, I'm okay now, thankfully, because like the cancer all was what, was cut out. It was a hysterectomy. I had both of the highest risk types of HPV that cause cervical cancer and esophageal cancer, I believe. And for 5 years, I've been asking for doctors to give me a hysterectomy because I've been dealing with it for 10. So for 5 years, I tried to do everything they did, cut precancerous mass out, biopsy after biopsy after biopsy after biopsy. And they kept saying the last 5 years, after 5 years of that, I was sick of it. And then I'm like, I want a hysterectomy. Just take this out. I'm clearly not beating this infection. And four doctors said, no, it has to become advanced cancer in order to give you a hysterectomy. Then I finally found a doctor that did. So, my wife is a two-time cancer survivor. Mr. Carey, I don't think I knew that, and if I did, I had forgotten because of my brain. I'm so sorry to hear that, but I'm glad to hear she's a survivor, just 2 times. Anybody having to go through that twice. Lucky Luciano. Damn, you got that millionaire laugh. Oh, I'm gonna try to manifest that. My sister did get voted best laugh in high school, and we have like similar laughs because my husband always says it's like the best thing in the world when me and my sister laugh together. And I dropped out. I don't think I would have gotten voted best laugh because I wasn't like as popular as her. Cool, Carrie. Tell them I said happy early birthday. My sister's birthday is September 6th. She turns 12. But that was like an affair, or are we not talking about that one? Yoder, ooh, what are you talking about? What was an affair? So you have a 15-year-old turning 16 September 8th, Mr. Carey. I know you told me he was turning 16 in September. Now I'm like, oh, that's so soon. We need to try to help you out for his birthday. Um, with a million cops, a few are statistically bound to be bad people, but I think like 1%, not 99% people think, my opinion. Chris, I do agree with you actually. And I said this earlier, I think unfortunately, smaller communities do seem to be. I mean, and the corruption is just more obvious, right? Because it's just smaller, less people. But I've had mostly positive interactions with cops. I've had a few really bad ones, but I've had so many good ones. One cop came after his shift. I was broken down on the side of the road in Georgia, had a flat tire. I mean, it was like busted. This tire was done. And he was like, it was a Firebird. It was my old Firebird. And he's like, I had an old Firebird like this, and I have some tires in my garage. Wait here a few hours. I'm going to bring you, because this is like, I don't know. I can't remember. Like, it's not going to be easy to get this wheel, even 20 years ago. And so it was an older car. He comes back and puts these two wheels, and they were like anniversary edition. So I had two different kinds of wheels, but they looked good together. It was cool. And that cop gave me those wheels, puts wheels and tires on my car for free. We had an ounce of green in the car the whole time. He didn't even, think to like search us, of course, obviously. I was a teenager. I was only 18 then. I was dumb and young. Don't do that. It's bad. But so I always think about that cop. I'm like, gosh, I wish I remembered like what city that was in. I wish I remembered his name and I could like really thank him because it wasn't long before that I had a bad interaction with cops in the same small town, and I drove up to Indiana. They got the dogs out on me. They were having dogs sniff me, completely against protocol. I have a family member that's a cop, and I told them about it, and they're like, "That's no, those dogs are trained in aggression. They're not supposed to be near you. You're supposed to be out of the car when they searched the car." They were having the dogs sniff all around the car while we're sitting in it, and they were having the dogs like obviously sniff by what they thought I was hiding, so like by my bra, and like it was right by me and by my chest, and so anyways, no, and guess what happened when I go to complain about it? The footage disappeared, like everything, right? They couldn't find the footage, just like always. And they did offer to pay for a paint job for my car because their dog scratched my car. Anyways, I'm sorry, guys. See, I'm just get to the point where I rant. Chris Yetter, then his being a cop has nothing to do with him shooting the guy, though. He was just a guy who shot the guy cheating with his wife. Oh, is that the story? Okay, I need to read some comments. So, is my mom Carrie battled that one and died in C19 sepsis of bed sores? Oh, I'm so sorry, Yoder. Oh my gosh. Definitely no more babies here, Jay Hardy. HPV. Well, Samo, I've talked about it before. I haven't gone into a lot of detail, but said it, and I'll make more content. It's hard to talk about. When I was 18 years old, I slept with men for money. I was groomed by my dad. It was a handful of people. It was like the sugar babe thing where you're like, oh, this is this really rich man. I'm not a prostitute. I'm just having sex for money. But I sincerely was groomed. I was paying my own back child support. And like I bring all this up because I want to help other women that are on the same path that like might be considering the same thing. That's why I say it all the time. SEX work is not work. It is the most dangerous, unsustainable, just worthless work a woman could ever do. Any person, men too, but we all know it's mostly women that do it. So I am assuming because before that I really wasn't that active. I'm not just saying that. But not that I wasn't. But people don't pay money to use protection, you know what I mean? Um, Oh, good. I'm glad the young person already left, I hope, and I just realized J memes. If you're still in here, yeah, it is for young people to learn from too. Like we need to stop sugarcoating things and saying like, oh, like there's so many girls that say, "Yeah, we don't sleep together. He just buys me things. He just gives me money." I'm sorry, that's a lie. That's a lie. That no, I don't believe that at all. Unless the man like has ED or something. Like it probably has happened out there, but you see that all the time. Or but yeah, that's one reason why it's not something to take lightly. You might end up having to get a major surgery in your 30s. Just got back from Bucky's. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Robert. The only time I ever went to Bucky's was like a trauma-inducing experience. Yoder, okay, I already read that. So, does anybody know what town that happened in? The cop shot somebody he found in bed with his wife. We should all be open and honest with each other, Chris Ingleson. Ideally, we all have a past, and like anybody that would judge me really harshly for what I did when I was 18 years old, like literally 18 years old. I still look at 18-year-olds as children. I have an 18-year-old now. I could never imagine, I couldn't, if one of my children was like out working at McDonald's and was like, here, mom, I want to help you out and give you some money for some bills. I wouldn't accept that. I couldn't imagine doing what was done to me. I just couldn't. And yeah, I did have a counselor say I've been through more than anybody else he ever counseled. I was like, I don't know if I've been through that much, but I feel like I went through what I went through to help other people, right? The song Hey Joe fits that situation. I don't know what that song is. The cop shot a judge or chief sheriff. Oh yeah, are you talking about in Letchfield? He was like a bailiff. It was weird. He had no experience, but he got this job. It's like literally no experience. It's just interesting. That's small town Kentucky for you, though. There, I was floored when I heard a county near us pays their cops $15 an hour. $15 an hour. I make 20 at my factory. $15 an hour to be a cop. 15. That is crazy. So no wonder there might be some corruption. You know what I mean? You're only paying people $15 an hour. All sorts of bad stuff might happen because of that. And I know I'm sure they get decent, good benefits, but that is insane. Nobody should be making $15 an hour. Nobody for anything, let alone a cop. $15. We should all disconnect and go into nature more often, just being real, your daily jam. Yeah, you're right. And is your dog on your profile picture so cute? I don't do that enough, and I really should. I want to get more into going outside barefoot. My husband saw a velvet ant on our property. We always like, is everybody else? And I see velvet ants everywhere. They were in Indiana and our last property and this property. If you didn't know what they are, it's a wingless wasp. Gosh, I forget if it's the female or the male. I think it's a female that burrows in the ground and is wingless. There is a flying one that doesn't sting, that is the male. And the red velvet ant is nicknamed the cow killer, not because they actually kill cows, but because their sting is so painful they bring them to their knees often. So it's like I've never gotten stung by one, but it like makes me feel like I can't walk around barefoot. Anna, are you laughing at me right now, Anna? But it is us grown folks' job to pass on our lessons so they don't repeat our mistakes. Well, I really appreciate you guys all being accepting and nice to me when I talk about the most difficult things I've ever been through in my life. I really do. I appreciate you and I love you for it. But do you counsel the counselor? I see your point. Like, what is going on here, G? I can't quite explain it myself. We're just all talking about how killer is tripping. Whatever comes to mind. Your daily jam, you'll be fine. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Yeah, we are all over the place. I put my 2 weeks in recently at my full-time job, so I'm going to definitely dedicate a lot more time to my YouTube. I mean, with the edited content, I want to share a lot of Kentucky with you guys. We're coming up in the fall. The leaves are starting to change. I saw a lot today, a lot of yellow leaves, right, Mr. Carey? It's so exciting. It's so beautiful. Oh, I just love it so much. The hills here, the rocks, the like limestone cliffs, and it's just there's so much beauty. Nature is so crazy. I wouldn't walk around barefoot except on a beach, Samo said. Yeah, right, right. Me too. I get so worried. Like I know there's definitely benefits to it, but man, and we've got ticks really bad, just the ticks. And I thought one thing Titus said, don't think I ever made this point where he's like, now that I have these suspenders on, like before I wore suspenders and I had a tight waist, the ticks would all get caught in my waist. And now I don't have that problem with the suspenders. And I'm like, what do you mean? It's like the ticks are just going down in your pants then? Like the ticks are going somewhere. Like that is so weird to me. Don't tell me he's not picking ticks off himself all day, every day. Ugh, that one tick was Lone Star clones itself. That's some government experimental shit right there, if you ask me. I'm sorry. I think it's possible. But yeah, something's eaten some leaves. Like a lot of one cucumber vine, it was like every leaf was gone, but they left a little cucumber fruit. What would do that? Like a bunny or a deer? And then a few of my pumpkins. I'm like, oh no, if I lose my pumpkins at this stage, I'm gonna be so upset. But I have a pretty decent pumpkin patch going. Super excited about that. Oh my gosh. What I would like to do with that, because I don't have any good long-term storage here. I like to like go all out with the decorations, and of course, but I like to try to give them away to my neighbors and have like a little free pumpkin roadside stand. Leaves changing quick this year, Mr. Carey said. Yeah, it did. I thought the same thing. Yeah. Bill Gates dumped them off on Titus. LOL. Plants are usually close to cutworms. You know, Bill Gates owns more farmland than anybody right now. That really is creepy. And what's going on with the lab meat where they're growing meat from human cells. Have you guys heard that? It's a real thing. And like he says he's not involved in the appeal thing, the waxy plasticky coating. Like I've noticed avocados don't turn brown as fast. Like I know the tricks to keep them from turning brown, but like when I don't do that, there's no lemon juice. Like the avocados aren't turning brown for me. Has anybody else noticed that? And they have this coating even on organic produce now like Bill Gates is like, "Oh, my hands are clean. I have nothing to do with that." But he did. He funded it. Like he funded it years ago. So even though he might technically not be involved now, it's like I would not trust any of that. C19 and Ticks Girl, they released. Oh yeah, I totally like. Um, Mike, I did I skip you? Hi, Mike. How are you? I don't think I've seen you in here yet. But oh gosh, Chris, some tumors grow. What are we talking about? Tumors growing faster than what? Sorry. But yeah, the way that Lyme disease and I think it's the lab meat stuff. Yeah, I won't ever eat it either. I don't even like the plant-based meat, honestly. I just don't like I eat processed stuff all the time, but the I don't know. I've had good, decent plant-based meat. Most of it I don't like them. I think he's the second largest landowner in America. Okay, Samo. Thanks for correcting me. I thought I heard he was the first. He's the first. I heard farmland. So, like, perhaps maybe he is the biggest farmland owner, second landowner. You know what I mean? He has like more residential land or something. But whatever it is, it's too much, and there's no reason for it. And people need to like. Oh gosh, Alexandra Fasulo is a great YouTuber that makes content, and she had she was making money before she bought land. So but I don't know exactly how she bought her land, so I shouldn't say that. But she has a lot of content about how you can buy land without a big down payment, how the average person can get their hands on some farmland. I believe she only has like 7 acres or so. Maybe I'm wrong about that. And it's upstate New York, but she has a really good channel, Alexandra Fasulo. More of us, if we could make it a goal to buy land, just so these people like Bill Gates don't. Yeah, I see land for sale all over the place around here. You need to look up the shot and the ticks now, so when they bite, you are shotted. Okay. Oh my gosh. I spray. I haven't been bit by a tick in like a year, thank gosh. I got bit so many times and one time I was so mad. I'll never forget. It was like on the inside of like my foot. I don't know why I had to show you my foot. I like looked down, I was like, oh my gosh, and I tried to pull it off and it was like two in there and I was like, oh, it was the worst feeling. I had a panic attack afterwards. We have these tools that are like shaped like a V and you put it around their neck and you twist it and then pull and it's supposed to be the best way to take them and they come in two sizes too. And they are very efficient, but oh, I was just like I spray the permethrin bug spray on my skin. I didn't used to do that. And some people speculate Lyme disease when a lot of celebrities say they have Lyme disease, they're using it as an excuse, like when they need to go to rehab, when they're suffering from something because of something like that, it's just like so many celebrities have Lyme disease. But I was like, no, I think a lot of them are just they have more access to functional medicine and they're getting like when I had that tick bite, I've got one Lyme's disease test in my life. I could guarantee if I was some rich bitch, I would be getting tested for Lyme's disease like every freaking year. I've been getting bit by ticks since I was little. When we lived in Indiana when I was little, we played in bushes, like those yew bushes a lot. There's always ticks in there. I don't know why. I guess I know why, animals. Oh, Kenneth, Michael, hi, how are you doing? My favorite crystal, rose quartz, um, obsidian, and tourmaline for me. I have rose quartz in my car right now. I'm kind of boring though. I should learn more about it. I have a decent like rock and crystal collection. I'll show you guys one night. It's like in one of those boxes that has like a bunch of different little tiny shelves. I have it displayed. LDS land grab. Look it up. Okay, Kenneth. I take screenshots and then I go make notes and yes, Lyme disease ain't no joke. I think I already read that. Never been bitten by a tick. Good for you. You have them in North Africa, right, Samo? You have to. I was bit by a snake and I didn't care, she said. Well, yeah, it must not have been a venomous snake, or maybe, it was a dry bite. That's possible. Sam, I expect to get it thanks to Bill Gates dropping them out of the sky. Hmm. Yeah, and people that have lived off, like everybody we've talked to at length has brought up how they get worse every year. They didn't used to be this bad. And there's this glam camp, glamp camp. There's some app that's like Airbnb for campsites. And there's people that have, little campsites in their backyard on their property or whatever. I've never used it actually, but like it's one of those things I've almost used it like 10 times. And I noticed in some reviews that people are like, "Oh, the ticks are so bad. The ticks are like if you come to the countryside in Kentucky, like it's something you have to get used to. Like I'm used to it, but I can remember not being used to it. They are so bad, you guys. Like seriously, they are so bad. Titus has to be crawling with ticks. Ugh. Um, expect it. If you would like to support Lucky, oh, I am going to do more with my members and ships now that I'm leaving my full-time job. I promise. Like, I haven't done much with them. I've done one members only live, and I intend to do them on every Saturday, first Saturday of the month, every month. But I'm going to definitely do a lot more. I think it would be fun, like, once again, once I get the screen share option to, like, do some kinda, like, movie nights or something. I see people do that on Patreon. I don't know, maybe we can't do that. People do that on Patreon. But anyways, guys, I believe last night I ended it at, like, 99 minutes. Thank God I'm not in the US then, Samo said. Yeah, Samo's in North Africa. But I think this was decent. I always have so much fun talking to you guys. I appreciate how I can get on here without much to say, but it turns into a fun night. I hope you feel the same way. No, they're dropped off all places now, Yoder said. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that. I mean, it is just, especially when I heard of the kind that clone themselves. Like I said before, like I'm sure there's like some other animal or insect that does this or whatever. For some reason I'm thinking of jellyfish, like something that comes from the sea, but like they're so evil. And the way they'll like sit on the end of a blade of grass with their little creepy arms waving out, waiting to get something. They're freaking evil creatures, man. They're evil. They will find you from like several feet away. These little tiny things, like they know you by your heat and they find you. It's crazy. It is crazy. And our old property, if I went just walking through the woods, it was constant looking around, picking ticks off of me because it was very overgrown, very, that forest had not been managed ever, probably. It was nice meeting you too, Chris Engel. I hope I see you again. Hi, Vinay. I'm getting ready to get off of here now, but same as the malaria. Yeah, Yoder, I don't doubt it. Blessing to you all. Wonderful night and a blessed week ahead. Thank you, Yoder. You too. I hope you feel better and better every day as you're healing. So thank you for being here, Mr. Carey, like always. There's a GoFundMe I posted on my page for Mr. Carey. Anybody interested in helping a family in need, or if you know somebody that can. If you can share on your social media and possibly help out a family, like he's one of the good ones. We need to help each other out when we can, right? Love you guys. I hope you have a great week.